Morning and
Oh, I'm frozen. There we go. Hello, everybody. Welcome to Story Saturday. How are you? How are you? We're going to give it a few minutes for everybody to get in the room. Let's see how many people. Yeah, we're going to give it a little bit, give it a few minutes because I had a lot more than what's here right now. Sign up. So we'll give it a few minutes. If you want to say hello, say hello. If you've been coming to this, or if you're new to this today, we have been reading Don Miguel Ruiz, The Four Agreements. Today we are on chapter 5, which is going to be the fourth agreement. So we will be reading that one today. Yeah, so if you want to have a piece of paper or a journal, no right or wrong way to do this. You can either just listen while I read. You can take notes if you want. You can make reflections, whatever you want to do. There is no right or wrong way to do this. If you have the book and you want to read along, you can. Whatever you would like to do is perfectly fine. So we'll just give it a few minutes. Hopefully everybody is doing well on this Saturday, wherever you are in the world. It's really hot here today. I feel like we don't get seasons anymore. We go from like pretty much winter to summer. It's like 85 here today, and I think a couple days ago we were down in like the 40s or something. So it's a whirlwind. You never know how you're going to dress each day. So for those of you who don't know me, my name is Casey. I am a licensed mental health therapist, a holistic health practitioner, a Reiki master, and can't talk today, intuitive spiritual guide. I've been a teacher here on Insight Timer for I think about 7 months now. I was a user of the app before that for about 5 years, and this app changed my life. So I wanted to go on the flip side. So I've been doing this. I do 2 lives a week. The first one is on Wednesday, Wisdom Wednesdays, where I do an energy read. I have channeled a card for the collective. I read that and then I open it up for individual readings. I started this 5 weeks ago doing Story Saturday, and I'm really enjoying this space. So probably going to keep it up with another book next. I really want to do Just One Thing by Rick Hansen. It's really could be good in this space. The way the chapters are and the length and everything like that. Caitlin, hello. The book still hasn't won you over, hanging in there. Yeah, hey, at least you keep coming back, and hopefully, I know after the first week, you were like, okay, like some of it makes more sense with the discussion and everybody making the comments about their perspectives and how they take it. I feel like that's kind of the thing, right? Is all of us can read one thing and probably all take it 50 million different ways, right? Depending on where we are and our agreements and things like that we have existing anyway, right? So hopefully you cannot hear the cat screaming in the background because I had to shut the door, and she's decided she wants in, but she can't be in because then she'll scream in here because it's around her dinner time. So hope that we're gonna hope that she is relatively tame and relatively mild. All right, I'm going to give it about like 40 more seconds to the 5-minute mark, and then I will go ahead and get started reading the chapter. So I'm going to take my glasses off, get my water. I did a live last night and it was long and I talked a lot. So hopefully my voice holds out today. That is the goal. All right, everybody. So we are going to get started. Again, we are on the 5th chapter. This is the 4th agreement. The 4th agreement: always do your best. There is just one more agreement, but it's the one that allows the other three to become deeply ingrained habits. The fourth agreement is about the action of the first three. Always do your best. Under any circumstances, always do your best. No more and no less. But keep in mind that your best is never going to be the same from one moment to the next. Everything is alive and changing all the time. So your best will sometimes be high quality, and other times it will not be as good. When you wake up refreshed and energized in the morning, your best will be better than when you are tired at night. Your best will be different when you are healthy as opposed to sick, sober as opposed to drunk. Your best will depend on whether you are feeling wonderful and happy or upset, angry, or jealous. In your everyday moods, your best can change from one moment to another, from 1 hour to the next, from one day to another. Your best will also change over time. As you build the habit of the 4 new agreements, your best will become better than it used to be. Regardless of the quality, keep doing your best. No more and no less than your best. If you try too hard to do more than your best, you will spend more energy than is needed, and in the end, your best will not be enough. When you overdo, you deplete your body and go against yourself, and it will take you longer to accomplish your goal. But if you do less than your best, you subject yourself to frustrations, self-judgment, guilt, and regrets. Just do your best in any circumstance in your life. It doesn't matter if you're sick or tired. If you always do your best, there is no way you can judge yourself. And if you don't judge yourself, there is no way you are going to suffer from guilt, blame, and self-punishment. By always doing your best, you will break a big spell that you have been under. There was a man who wanted to transcend his suffering, so he went to a Buddhist temple to find a master to help him. He went to the master and asked, Master, if I meditate 4 hours a day, how long will it take me to transcend? The master looked at him and said, if you meditate 4 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 10 years. Thinking he could do better, the man said, oh, master, what if I meditated 8 hours a day? How long will it take me to transcend? The master looked at him and said, if you meditate 8 hours a day, perhaps you will transcend in 20 years. But why will it take me longer if I meditate more? The man asked. The master replied, you are not here to satisfy your joy or your life. You are here to live, to be happy, and to love. If you can do your best in 2 hours of meditation, but you spend 8 hours instead, you will only grow tired, miss the point, and you won't enjoy your life. Do your best, and perhaps you will learn that no matter how long you meditate, you can live, love, and be happy. Doing your best, you are going to live your life intensely. You are going to be productive. You are going to be good to yourself because you will be giving yourself to your family, to your community, to everything. But it is the action that is going to make you feel intensely happy. When you always do your best, you take action. Doing your best is taking the action because you love it, not because you're expecting a reward. Most people do exactly the opposite. They only take action when they expect a reward, and they don't enjoy the action. And that's the reason why they don't do their best. Excuse me. For example, most people go to work every day just thinking of payday and the money they will get from the work they are doing. They can hardly wait for Friday or Saturday, whatever day they receive their money and can take off. They are working for the reward, and as a result, they resist work. They try to avoid the action and it becomes more difficult, and they don't do their best. They work so hard all week long, suffering the work, suffering the action, not because they like to, but because they feel they have to. They have to work because they have to pay the rent, because they have to support their family. They have all the frustration. And when they do receive their money, they are unhappy. They have 2 days to rest, to do what they want to do. And what do? They try to escape. They may drink because they don't like themselves. They don't like their life. There are many ways that we hurt ourselves when we don't like who we are. On the other hand, if you take action just for the sake of doing it, without expecting a reward, you will find that you enjoy every action you do. Rewards will come, but you are not attached to the reward. You can get more than you would have imagined for yourself without expecting a reward. If we like what we do, if we always do our best, then we are really enjoying life. We are having fun. We don't get bored. We don't have frustrations. When you do your best, you don't give the judge the opportunity to find you guilty or to blame you. If you have done your best and the judge tries to judge you according to your book of laws, you've got the answer. I did my best. There are no regrets. That is why we always do our best. It is not an easy agreement to keep, but this agreement is really going to set you free. When you do your best, you learn to accept yourself, but you have to be aware and learn from your mistakes. Learning from your mistakes means you practice, look honestly at the results, and keep practicing. This increases your awareness. Doing your best really doesn't feel like work because you enjoy whatever you're doing. You know you're doing your best when you are enjoying the action or doing it in a way that will not have negative repercussions for you. You do your best because you want to do it, not because you have to do it, not because you are trying to please the judge, and not because you are trying to please other people. If you take action because you have to, then there is no way you are going to do your best. Then it is better not to do it. No, you do your best because doing your best all the time makes you happy. When you are doing your best just for the pleasure of doing it, you are taking action because you enjoy the action. Action is about living fully. Inaction is the way that we deny life. Inaction is sitting in front of the television every day for years because you're afraid to be alive and to take the risk of expressing what you are. Expressing what you are is taking action. You can have many great ideas in your head, but what makes the difference is the action. Without action upon an idea, there will be no manifestation, no results, and no reward. A good example of this comes from the story about Forrest Gump. He didn't have great ideas, but he took action. He was happy because he always did his best at whatever he did. He was richly rewarded without expecting any reward at all. Taking action is being alive. It's taking the risk to go out and express your dream. This is different than imposing your dream on someone else because everyone has the right to express his or her dream. Doing your best is a great habit to have. I do my best in everything I do and feel. Doing my best has become a ritual in my life because I made the choice to make it a ritual. It's a belief like any other belief that I chose. I make everything a ritual and I always do my best. Taking a shower is a ritual for me. And with that action, I tell my body how much I love it. I feel and enjoy the water on my body. I do my best to fulfill the needs of my body. I do my best to give my body, to give to my body, and to receive what my body gives to me. In India, they perform a ritual called puja. In this ritual, they take idols that represent God in many different forms and bathe them, feed them, and give their love to them. They even chant mantras to these idols. The idol itself is not important. What is important is the way they perform the ritual, the way they say, I love you, God. God is life. God is life in action. The best way to say, I love you, God, is to live your life doing your best. The best way to say, thank you, God, is by letting go of the past and living in the present moment, right here and now. Whatever life takes away from you, let it go. When you surrender and let go of the past, you allow yourself to be fully alive in the moment. Letting go of the past means you can enjoy the dream that is happening right now. If you live in a past dream, you don't enjoy what is happening right now because you will always wish it to be different than it is. There is no time to miss anyone or anything because you are alive. Not enjoying what is happening right now is living in the past and being only half alive. This leads to self-pity, suffering, and tears. You were born with the right to be happy. You were born with the right to love, to enjoy, and to share your love. You are alive, so take your life and enjoy it. Don't resist life passing through you, because that is God passing through you. Just your existence proves the existence of God. Your existence proves the existence of life and energy. We don't need to know or prove anything, just to be, to take a risk and enjoy your life is all that matters. Say no when you want to say no, and yes when you want to say yes. You have the right to be you. You can only be you when you do your best. When you don't do your best, you are denying yourself the right to be you. There's a seed that you should really nurture in your mind. You don't need knowledge or great philosophical concepts. You don't need the acceptance of others. You express your own divinity by being alive and by loving yourself and others. It's an expression of God to say, hey, I love you. The first three agreements will only work if you do your best. Don't expect that you will always be able to be impeccable with your word. Your routine habits are too strong and firmly rooted in your mind, but you can do your best. Don't expect that you will never take anything personally. Just do your best. Don't expect that you will never make another assumption, but you can certainly do your best. By doing your best, the habits of misusing your word, taking things personally, and making assumptions will become weaker and less frequent with time. You don't need to judge yourself, feel guilty, or punish yourself if you cannot keep these agreements. If you're doing your best, you will feel good about yourself, even if you still make assumptions, still take things personally, and still are not impeccable with your word. If you do your best always, over and over again, you will become a master of transformation. Practice makes the master. By doing your best, you become a master. Everything you have ever learned, you learn through repetition. You learn to write, to drive, and even to walk by repetition. You learn, you are a master of speaking your language because you practiced. Action is what makes the difference. If you do your best in the search for personal freedom, in the search for self-love, you will discover that it's just a matter of time before you find what you are looking for. It's not about daydreaming or sitting for hours dreaming in meditation. You have to stand up and be a human. You have to honor the man or woman that you are. Respect your body, enjoy your body, love your body. feed, clean, and heal your body. Exercise and do what makes your body feel good. This is a puja to your body, and that is a communion between you and God. You don't need to worship idols of the Virgin Mary, the Christ, or the Buddha. You can if you want to. If it feels good, do it. Your own body is a manifestation of God. And if you honor your body, everything will change for you. When you practice giving love to every part of your body, you plant seeds of love in your mind. And when they grow, you will love, honor, and respect your body immensely. Every action then becomes a ritual in which you are honoring God. After that, the next step is honoring with every thought, every emotion, every belief, even what is right and wrong. Every thought becomes a communion, and you will live a dream without judgments, victimization, and free of the need to gossip and abuse yourself. When you honor these four agreements together, there is no way that you will live in hell. There is no way. If you are impeccable with your word, if you don't take anything personally, if you don't make assumptions, if you always do your best, then you are going to have a beautiful life. You are going to control your life 100%. The four agreements are a summary of the mastery of transformation, one of the masteries of the Toltec. You transform hell into heaven. The dream of the planet is transformed into your personal dream of heaven. The knowledge is there. It's just waiting for you to use it. The four agreements are there. You just need to adopt these agreements and respect their meaning and power. Just do your best to honor these agreements. You can make this agreement today. I choose to honor the four agreements. It's so simple and logical that even a child can understand them, but you must have a very strong will to keep these agreements. Why? Because wherever we go, we find that our path is full of obstacles. Everyone tries to sabotage our commitment to these new agreements, and everything around us is a setup for us to break them. The problem is all the other agreements that are a part of the dream of the planet. They are alive and they are very strong. That's why you need to be a great hunter, a great warrior who can defend these four agreements with your life. Your happiness, your freedom, your entire way of living depends on it. The warrior's goal is to transcend this world, to escape from this hell and never come back. As the Toltecs teach us, the reward is to transcend the human experience of suffering and to become the embodiment of God. That is the reward. We really need to use every bit of power we have to succeed in keeping these agreements. I didn't expect that I could do it at first. I have fallen many times, but I stood up and kept going. And I fell again, and I kept going. I didn't feel sorry for myself. There was no way that I felt sorry for myself. I said, if I fall, I am strong enough. I am intelligent enough. I can do it. I stood up and kept going. I fell and I kept going and going. And each time it became easier and easier. Yet in the beginning, it was so hard, so difficult. So if you fall, do not judge. Do not give your judge the satisfaction of turning you into a victim. No, be tough with yourself. Stand up and make the agreement again. Okay, I broke my agreement to be impeccable with my word. I will start all over again. I'm going to keep the four agreements just for today. Today, I will be impeccable with my word. I will not take anything personally. I will not make any assumptions, and I am going to do my best. If you break an agreement, begin again tomorrow and again the next day. It will be difficult at first, but each day will become easier and easier until someday you will discover that you are ruling your life with these four agreements. And you will be surprised at the way your life has been transformed. You don't need to be religious or go to church every day. Your love and self respect are growing and growing. You can do it. If I did it, you can do it also. Do not be concerned about the future. Keep your attention on today and stay in the present moment. Just live one day at a time. Always do your best to keep these agreements, and soon it will be easy for you. Today is the beginning of a new dream. Whew, a lot, right? Hi, Jennifer. Absolutely. Just listen. No right or wrong way to do this. Hi, Madeline. Hi, Karen. Hi, Sophie. Oh, we have 60 beautiful souls in the room. I see Ginger's face, Solomon down at the bottom. Hello, hello. A new dream. Yes. Yes. And as we've talked about throughout this entire series, right? They are so simple. They're so simple and they're so hard to do. I saw the hearts flying up when I was when I was reading about life, right? Because we are still human and we still have to live a human existence. And there are obstacles that are thrown at us every single day in our life, right? Every single day. Whether it's with our family, with our children, with our job, with an organization, with a community, with the government, it's constantly things are being thrown at us, testing us, right? Testing us. Are we going to respond and be impeccable with our word? Or are we going to cuss somebody out and tear them down? Are we going to take what somebody else does personally when it really has nothing to do with ourselves? Are we going to make assumptions about what people are thinking, are feeling, are doing? Or are we going to communicate and ask questions? And then are we going to do our best? And I think something that I try to teach everyone is most of us walk around with completely unrealistic expectations for ourselves and for others. Like, think about the word perfect. What does perfect mean? Like, literally, what does perfect mean? Perfect means probably something different to me than it means to you, than it means to the person next. My perfect probably is different than Ginger's perfect. Ginger's perfect is probably different than my perfect. My perfect's probably different than Sophie's perfect, right? Perfection is subjective, right? But if we have these expectations in our head of what we think perfect is for ourselves and for others, no one is ever going to live up to that because nobody else knows what our idea of perfection is. Nobody else knows what our idea of our realistic expectations are. Nobody else acts exactly like me. Nobody else thinks exactly like me. All of us might have similarities, right? We all do because we're human. But if we don't communicate those, how can we expect anybody else to know? And then that's what leads us to not being impeccable with our word, for taking things personally, and for making assumptions. And it literally boils down to communication, right? Communication, in addition to doing those things, right? Um, mm, just lost the train of thought again. So true. When I stop and think back at my expectations, they are insane. Absolutely. And literally, like, think about how, like, again, how simple it is. Just do your best. Like, think oh, there's Kitty, sorry. Think about being in school. How are your parents? Did your parents expect you to get straight A's? Were your parents lenient and say, just do your best? If you tell us you did your best and you get a B or C, it's fine. If you did everything in your power and did your best and you get a D, life will go on. Or did your parents have unrealistic expectations that you were going to ace every class and that you should, and if you didn't, something was wrong with you or you weren't good enough, right? These are like way back in the beginning when we started reading this book, right? These are all of these agreements that were put upon us, that we kind of had to accept, right? By our parents, by our teachers, by the people that we were involved with in our lives that were showing us what it's supposed to be like, right? To be a human and the way we're supposed to do things. And they're not doing them to be mean. They're not doing us to intentionally hurt us. Parents wanting you to get good grades, I guarantee you, was not them trying to torment you and give you issues that you probably carry with you, like perfectionism, into your adult life, right? They're not doing that on purpose, but they're not living their four agreements, right? Because if they were, they would know if you're doing your best, you're doing your best. Um, let's see. Madeline says, yes, all the expectations we carry. I reflected about expectations and disappointment. Absolutely. You're never going to get disappointed again if you don't have expectations of others. And again, I know that sounds simple to say too, but I literally expect zero from anybody else. Does that mean I think bad of people? Absolutely not. But I'm not going into an interaction with someone else having an expectation anymore because I don't know them. I don't know what's going on in their head. I don't know what's going on in their life. I don't know anything. I'm taking the interaction at face value. If I'm giving them love and attention and just my general aura, I don't have any expectations, but most of the time it's not going to be terrible. Um, but sometimes it is, right? Because people are not living by the four agreements and they are stuck in their heads, or they are making assumptions about you, or they're not being impeccable with their word. The one thing they really are not doing that we still take personally is most of the time the way that people treat us really doesn't have anything to do with us, it has to do with them. So if we can learn that too, right, then that each of these ones keep building off of each other and building off of each other. And like you said, it's not easy to do. It's not easy. Speaking from experience, it's not easy. It took me a long time, a long, long time. Let's see, Ginger, my expectations of myself, I seem to have low expectation of others often. Yeah. Highest expectation, much higher. Better with that nowadays while still practicing. And you know what that is, Madeline? You're doing your best, right? Like he says, if you fall, okay, I fell, get back up, do it again, right? 100%. Simple does not make it easy. I think I said this last time. I went to school for, God, 1 year shy of doctor, 7 years. 7 years to get a master's degree to be a licensed mental health therapist. And I'm not saying that evidence-based practices are not valuable and useful. I'm not saying that. They very much can be. However, what I have found in therapy practice is most of it, I didn't need to go to school to learn. It literally is simple things like this: being in the present moment, letting go of the past, not being worried about the future, being focused on right here and right now, because this is literally the only thing you can control. You cannot control yesterday. It's already happened. It's already done, and you can't go back and change it. You cannot control tomorrow. Can we plan? Can we make goals? Can we do all those things? Of course we can, but it's not tomorrow yet, so we can't control that. We can literally only control right now. And so many of us, me included in the past, get stuck, right? We're stuck in places, and a lot of us, I feel like, are stuck in the past. Um, and there isn't anything we can do about it. So we're not being fully alive, right? We're not being fully present. And that's what he's talking about, is if you're living by these agreements and you just start every day. I am going to follow the four agreements today. I'm going to be impeccable with my word. I'm not going to take anything personally. I'm not going to make any assumptions, and I am going to do my best. And if you catch yourself making assumptions, if you catch yourself taking something personally, if you catch yourself not being impeccable with your word, it's okay. Don't judge yourself. Say, you know what? Okay. Yep. All right. I did it, but it's okay. I'm going to get back on. I'm going to get back on. And tomorrow is a new day, and we're going to do it again. And the more that you do it and do it and do it and practice it, just like with anything in life, it becomes easier and easier and easier, because you're going to fall. All of us are. There's no way, when you are incorporating a new habit, there is no way you were going to do it every single day. And this is what I tell my clients. especially like my anxiety clients, when we're working on finding like coping and grounding skills and things like that. It is so hard in the beginning to get people to consistently do them, right? They only think about doing them if they're having anxiety. And we need to practice things more consistently. So I use SMART goals: specific, measurable, achievable, realistic, and time specific. When you are incorporating these new habits, is it realistic that you are going to do them every single day? No. It's because it's not a habit. It's not an existing habit. We're not just tweaking an existing habit. If you went to the gym every day and we said, okay, I want to start doing arms more. So I'm going to do arms every day, no matter what else I do. That might be a little bit more realistic just because you already go to the gym every day, but not most of us are not doing these, right? So you're not going to all of a sudden every single day of your life, just because you've read this book or attended this story session, tomorrow you start doing it and you do it every single day. You might want to just start with one, right? You might want to start with the first one and work on that, and then incorporate 1 and 2, then incorporate 1, 2, and 3. It might be a building process for you. You might want to try all of them. Everybody is different with what they're going to do it, but pick how you're going to do it. Make it specific. Okay, make it measurable, make it achievable, because if we don't do it, what happens? We're more prone to judging ourselves, right? And getting down on ourselves and see, you couldn't do it. You couldn't do it. I told you you couldn't do it. Why are you even trying? We're just going to be stuck feeling like this forever. So we reinforce that negative underlying core belief that we have, that we're not good enough, right? We can't do this. We're not good enough. And then realistic and time specific. So like in a 7-day period, look at your life, how busy you are, what your commitments are, and everything. And look at your life and go, realistically, how many days can I try this? Right? How many days can I try it? And for most people, it's probably only 1 or 2 days when you first get started. And it's going to be a struggle and you're going to have to push yourself to do it. But the more you push yourself to do it, and say you do it and you didn't do it one day, but you did it another. Okay. So at the end of the week, I look at it. All right, I did 50% of it. Okay. 50%. All right. So next week, we're going to keep that same goal. I'm going to try this 2 days a week. And then once you start doing it 2 days a week, 2 days a week, 2 days a week, then you start bumping up 3 days a week, 3 days a week, and you gradually grow, because it is hard and it is going to take time. It is, Jennifer. It is like, yes, the 5 Reiki uh yeah, that. Sorry, somebody has said, could you repeat it? And I don't have my card right in front of me, so I am going to read it. Hopefully you guys can still see me if I moved out of the screen. So Madeline, the 5 Reiki precepts are: for today only, I will not be angry, I will not worry, I will be humble, I will be honest in my work, and I will be compassionate to others. I mean, there's a little different wording from some different people, but it's normally: just for today, I will not be angry. Just for today, I will not worry. Just for today, I will be grateful. Just for today, I will do my work honestly. And just for today, I will be kind to every living being. So, oh, my Reiki teacher would be very mad after being trained twice as a master. I took my Reiki master training from 2 different people at the advice of my first Reiki master, because they said everybody's kind of different. So I was like, well, if I'm going to take it from somebody, I'm going to take it from like the head guy in this country who runs the International Center for Reiki Training. So I took it from him. Both of them would be like, oh, you didn't remember. You couldn't spout that off the top of your head. But again, also, those also sound very simple, and they also are hard to do, right? It is. The simple things are the things that are not easy to do in any way, shape, or form. So practice, practice, practice. Give yourself self-compassion, give yourself grace, give yourself forgiveness. And when you're starting out, do it with using like the SMART goals. Set yourself up for success, not failure, because then we're more likely to follow through. We're more likely to keep it going. We're more likely to want to do it. Because once you start noticing the difference, it's just like with those coping and grounding skills with anxiety. Once you start noticing, oh my God, this is helping me. Mine was meditation. That's how I started this, like 5, 6 years. Well, it's almost, I keep saying 5, but it's probably like 6 years, almost 6 years now. When I got introduced to Insight Timer 6 years ago, that's why I was coming on Insight Timer, because I wasn't properly managing my anxiety. And I was like, okay, I have to find tools that I enjoy doing that are going to help me. And somebody had introduced me to Insight Timer, and I came on and was doing the guided meditations and things like that. And it helped tremendously. And when I do it, I'm fine. When I don't, I notice, I start like thinking and worrying a little bit. And I'm like, no, no, we don't do that anymore. What are we doing? Oh, yeah, yeah. Okay. Yep. Nope. You're not meditating like you're supposed to. So it doesn't matter who you are. It doesn't matter where you are on your journey. It still is a struggle for most people, right? Because once we feel better, once we start doing it, once we start noticing the changes, it'll be okay if I skip today. It'll be okay if I skip tomorrow. I'll do it. I'll do it this weekend. And then this weekend turns into next week and next week and next week. So it's really important to try to stay consistent if we're doing it. But the more that we notice it positively impacting our daily life, the more that's going to motivate us to want to take that action to do it, right? So, all right. Anybody else have any thoughts, feelings, reflections about it? Oh no, Jennifer got logged out. Yeah, normally you can get back in if you get logged out, as long as it's within the time frame of what the teacher said how long the live was going to be. So I always put these for 2 hours because that's the max that you can do, because I never know. If it goes over 2 hours and people get locked out, then they can't get back in, because technically it was supposed to be over by now. But as long as you're before that window, it's normally okay. Um, so that's kind of where we are today, with that. So just, and like I said, does anybody have any reflections, any comments, anything they'd like to share? You have spasm. I was trying to go over to the comment section, and I accidentally hit end live one time. And I can't, I don't think it was in this. I think it was in my Wisdom Wednesday live. And I was like, holy crap. So I like typed in the comments. I was like, oh my God, I'm sorry. I accidentally hit it. Let me see if I can open it back up. And miraculously, I was able to restart the live, because you normally can't do that. So I don't know how. So I understand that spasm of, uh-oh, like, whoops, 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 whoops. Excuse me. So we have got 84. Fours are my thing this week. We're at 43 minutes and 14 seconds, and we have 84 beautiful souls here. Fours have been showing up. My angel number fours have been showing up big time for me this week. Oh, and I just thought, so for those of you, if you haven't been coming, if this is your first time here, these are being recorded and they are being reposted. If you want to go back and watch any of the previous weeks, you can go to my About section on Insight Timer. And if you scroll to the bottom, that will tell you how to reach me and find that. It seems like if I put it on my calendar and click on the link, I can always re-enter even when the live is past time when the teacher booked, via browser, not on the app. Yeah, absolutely. And that's a really good thing to say too, is well, me, I do it because of memory, my ADHD brain. But if you click attend a live, it always asks you, do you want to add it to your calendar? And if you add it to your calendar, it's going to give you a reminder, depending on how you have your reminder set up, either 30 minutes before, or I think 5 minutes before the live, it'll give you a reminder. And like Ginger said, you can literally click right on it from your calendar, and it'll open, if you're on your phone, it'll open your internet browser. And you can just click open an app if you want to watch it in the app, but you can get to it that way. But that way, it also helps you remember when, your teachers that you like have, lives and things like that. So yeah, so next week is going to be interesting because next week is a really long chapter. It's like 30 pages. So I don't really want to break it up, but it might be a long one because I don't want to like just blah, blah, and like rush through the reading. So I don't know. We'll see how it goes. We'll see how it goes. But yeah, so like I said, these are being recorded if anybody wants to go back. And I think that is it for today because I definitely wanted to touch on the thing about expectations and just kind of recap that and implementing them with SMART goals. I feel like that was all. I feel like that was all. So reboot randomly. Reboot randomly. That is a tongue twister. A tongue twister right there. So next week it is going to be talking about, he's really going to be putting it all together. Like he did that in this chapter a little bit, right? About talking about it, but next week he's really going to talk about how we start breaking the old agreements. That's why the chapter is so long. And he's going to talk about how do we actually start breaking not just doing the 4 agreements, but breaking the old agreements and incorporating these new agreements in each of those aspects. So that's why it's kind of long. So for those of you that have tried this, for those of you that have struggled with it, that chapter, this chapter, excuse me, is going to kind of put it all together, right? Put it all together of, okay, now I've told you these, new agreements, to live by, so to speak, right? And then now we're going to talk about, okay, how can I actually break my old habits and replace them with these new habits? So it'll be a lot, a lot. Ciao. Should I be more formal? Salve. Salve, Flavio. I'm actually learning Italian right now. I'm in the beginning stages. So don't give me a complicated sentence if you talk. You can say, mi chiamo Casey. Bravissima. Grazie mille. Sorry. I was talking to Chat GPT the other night. And it oh, Jen, sorry. No, no, no. I was talking to Chat GPT the other night and with some stuff, and I threw that out there at the end, grazie mille, and they came back with stuff with like a whole sentence, and I was like, okay, I got about 50% of that sentence. All right. So, all right. Well, Flavio, if you are just joining us, we are wrapping up. We are at the end. So hold on. My 15-year-old came home with this book. Oh my goodness, Jennifer. Proud mom moment. Absolutely. I love working. I don't work with kids anymore, but I love working with kids and teens. I've transitioned more to like, I mainly work with adults now, but I do work with teens. I love when younger kids get it and they start trying to get it younger. And that is literally what I tell them is if you can get these things now at your age, it can totally change the trajectory of your life. Because look at all of us. I mean, all of us in this room are probably of various different ages, right? But most of us probably are coming into this as we're older, right? And the younger you are, the easier it is, the more open you are, the more you haven't gotten beat down by society, right? You haven't had all of societal norms, rules, and expectations crammed down your throat for so long, right? It's so much easier for kids. And the kids that are coming in are so much more open. Yeah. Yes. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Thank you. Sorry. Flavio. Flavio. Thank you. Actually, what is that? Per favore. Per favore. Yeah, it takes practice. I'm immersing myself in that. I have books. I've been listening to music in Italian. There's a show on, oh God, I almost said it. I don't want to get in trouble. There's a show on a streaming device that I watched with English dub over, so I know what happens already, and I'm watching that again, but I'm watching it in Italian to start seeing the words that I can pick up in anything. It's a beautiful language. Ginger, because I want to go there. My long-term plan is to relocate. I'm looking at Portugal, Spain, or Italy. So I have Italian heritage. I'm very drawn to Italy. I at least want to visit Allison Potts, who is another teacher on here. She's learning Italian too, but she's learning because her and her husband are getting ready to go on holiday. She leaves in 3 weeks and they're going to Italy. So that's what made me want to learn it. And plus Italian and Spanish are very similar. And then Portuguese is kind of like a combination of Spanish and Italian. So I was like, if I can get Italian, then I should be able to go back and get Spanish a little bit better the second time. And then if I do end up in Portugal, hopefully it'll be easier to learn the language. So so anyway, for those of you who have come in late, this is being recorded. So if you missed any of it, there is a way for you to watch the replay. If you go to my About section on my Insight Timer profile and scroll to the bottom, you can find my website, and there you can find that, even though I'm not supposed to say that. But I mean, I'm not telling you guys, I'm not directing you somewhere else. So awesome. 25. There you go. Starting the meditation journey. 5 minutes a day. Absolutely. That literally, see, we all have inner resilience. We all have the inner knowing, and we all have this inner resilience. And that is exactly how I teach clients to start. 5 minutes, no more than 5 minutes, because your brain's not going to focus if you're new to it, right? Start with 5 minutes, and then you slowly build yourself up. Have zero expectations of yourself. Don't get hard on yourself if you get monkey mind, if you can't focus, if you can't concentrate, if your mind's racing, if you're thinking about other things you have to do. All those things are normal. Ugh, I hate that word because there is no such thing as normal, but I feel like I needed to use it here. Just do your best, right? Do your best. And the more that you do it, right, the more you do it, and you'll notice that you're able to concentrate for the full 5 minutes. And once you're able to fully concentrate for the 5 minutes, bump it up. But don't bump it up to 20. Don't bump it up to 30. Literally bump it up by 5 minutes. Start trying to do some meditations between 5 and 10 minutes and stay there until you're fully able to focus, and then keep building, building, building. That is um, very easy to do when you do it slowly, when you do it that way. I started with 5 minutes, and when I first started doing meditations, I couldn't even make it a minute in my brain without and I was able to build myself up to, my God, probably hour. Trying to think of the longest one I had. I think the longest one that I had saved was like maybe an hour and a half or something like that, but that took a long time. Exactly, Madeline. It's like a muscle, just like everything else. If you had asked me, how do I build biceps? It's the same thing, right? Repeated exercises, and then slowly increasing the resistance, right? Slowly increasing the resistance. That's what it is. And it's the same thing with meditation, 100%. So I'm so excited for you. I remember my journey when I first started, and it's a process. And if you are someone who likes to journaling through the process, it's amazing. And it doesn't have to be complicated. It doesn't have to be pages, but just kind of, how did I feel? Where was I? Was I stuck? Was I not stuck? How did I feel? Because if you go back and look at that, you will be absolutely amazed at where you are compared to where you started. The person I was 6 years ago, I don't even know who that person was anymore. I don't even know her anymore. So yeah, Madeline, I started with short guided meditations, like 2 to 5 minutes during your daily commute. Absolutely. And that's the other thing is there really isn't a right or wrong way to do meditation. I feel like when you say the word meditation, people instantly go to thinking about Buddhist monks, right? Sitting in complete silence and quiet, legs bent, just like this. And it doesn't have to be if that doesn't work for you. There are people that do exactly what Madeline did. They listen to it on their commute into work. They pop headphones on and go take a walk outside and are listening to a meditation while they're walking outside or while they're cleaning their house. Or they might be sitting in a chair or sitting in their bed. You take it and make it work for you and what works for you in your life. Obviously, if the meditation says close your eyes and you're doing those things, you just don't do it. But whether we close our eyes or not has zero to do with whether we ingest the material, right? Whether we ingest it. So, yeah, absolutely. I know our phones, right? I'm of the age, and I'm going to age myself here, but I am from the age that we didn't have cell phones when I was a kid. And it literally, we have everything at our fingertips, and I used to be a big paper person too, and even I have been like, Google Notes. Oh god, sorry, I did not say that. Sorry, Insight Timer. Notes section on my phone. I'm even like da 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 da, on that instead of having to carry paper and stuff around with you. So yeah, absolutely. Use an app for sure. I mean, they have it on this app now where you can start journaling and stuff on here now as well. So awesome. All right. So I'm going to give my I like how we feel. Okay. Awesome. Ginger's got a recommendation down there. Madeline says, I find it can be helpful to follow along with the spoken words, speaking them in my mind to keep my focus on the guidance. It helps to drift less. Yeah, absolutely. Great advice. That's great advice. Ginger uses the reflect function on it. Awesome. Thank you for sharing that. And Madeline, thank you for giving some tips as well. Because yeah, everybody's journey is different. What people connect with, what they don't. Like I connect, like if you follow my, well, it's on my personal page, not on my teacher page, but like my personal Insight Timer, I have like playlists created of different teachers. And if you go to my playlist, you're going to be like, why does everybody in her playlist have accents? And it's because I connect with people that have accents. I don't know why, I just do. I like accents. Doesn't even matter where it's from. Don't care. I like accents. So most of my teachers on there, a lot of my teachers on there have accents from wherever they are. But yeah, you just have to find what is right for you, what you like, and what you connect with. That's all it is. That is all it is. All right, everybody. So for those that have come in late, I'll just briefly recap. Hi, my name is Casey. Sorry for the cat screaming in the background. It is wet food dinner time. So, Diva is spouting her protest that it is not happening yet. So my name is Casey. I am a licensed mental health therapist. I'm a holistic health practitioner, a Reiki master, and an intuitive guide. Um, I host two consistent lives on here a week. The first one is Wednesday. It's Wisdom Wednesday. Those start at 7:44 p.m. Eastern Standard Time. And I do oracle card readings with those. I give a brief energy reading of what's kind of going on astrologically. Then I've channeled a card for the collective. I read that, then I open it up for individual readings. I started this 5 weeks ago, Story Saturday, which I think I'm going to keep up because I really enjoy doing this. So we have two more chapters left of The Four Agreements by Don Miguel Ruiz. The next book I want to do is Just One Thing by Rick Hansen. And then last night I did a talk on star seeds. It was like a Starseed 101 talk where I kind of walked people through almost like a quiz to figure out which starseed you are. And then I talked about those. That also was recorded and is available for replay. And then next Friday, I'm doing a talk about gender because it's a very polarizing term, especially here right now in the United States. and a beautiful soul on here, John Steen, who goes by John Energy on Insight Timer, has challenged all of us with a commitment to love, with bringing more love in the world, and trying to negate all the fear and division and hate. And it's something that I'm really passionate about, that I have not spoken about ever out loud to people. I mean, I've had conversations with people about that, but not this big of a platform. So I think it's a very important conversation that we need to have. And if we can be open and raw but respectful, I think that it can be a really good conversation to have. But anyway, so there's that. So and then Violet 108, if you guys don't know, is an amazing soul on here. Her and Alejandro host Ask Your Guides. That's a great way for you to meet other teachers on here. They host those once, isn't it once a month, and multiple teachers go on. You get to see who they are. They give a little spiel about who they are, and then you guys get to ask questions of the teachers, and they ask. I've been on it once. It was amazing. I'm going to be on it in June, for the Pride one. I think that's June 26th. So I look forward to that. I love that. I love this app. I love that the connection and co-creation between teachers is increasing. I love you guys. I love this community, how everybody gets to know each other and is there to support each other. There is no other app like it. There's nothing else like it. I absolutely love it, and I love the space, and I look forward to coming here and sharing energy and sharing space with all of you guys. So I if you don't follow me, give me a follow. Right, if you follow me, right above the donate button, there's three dots. And if you hit the three dots, it'll ask if you want to get notifications. So anytime I post a new track, I post a new live. I think I'm going to work on a course for the Star Seeds. Anytime I post anything, you'll get notified. Um, Donations are always appreciated. That's pretty much the only way I make money on here. But if you're not able to make donations, there are tons of free ways you can help your teachers on here. Throwing up hearts during lives shows Insight Timer engagement, and that you're engaging with the teacher, the material. That bumps us up the algorithm. Rating and reviewing our tracks, that bumps us up in the algorithm, because there is an algorithm for your stuff in the search bar. There's an algorithm for how long it takes to get tracks approved. And for newer teachers, we're way down on the bottom. So as a newer teacher, that those things really help newer teachers out, and they're completely free to do. And we appreciate them so very much. I do have a couple guided meditations, a couple poems, and a talk. I've got stuff. I'm just waiting on things. It's taking, I think, a few weeks now because there's so many wonderful, amazing teachers on here. There's a lot of people creating a lot of new content. So unfortunately, it's a little slower with the approval time now, especially like for newer teachers, we get kind of bumped down. So there is going to be new stuff coming out, but it probably won't be for, a few weeks or so. So I'm really creative right now. I'm very deep in my channel. Lots of stuff is coming through. So I'm really looking forward to all the things that are coming and being able to record them and put them together and get it out. So stay tuned. All right, everybody. If it is your night, I hope you have a good night. If it's your day, I hope you have a good rest of the day. And I hope to see you all again. Oh, if you blah blah, I can't talk. That was the Everybody remember like old school rap when they like actually scratched on a record player? That's how I describe what happens in my ADHD brain when all the thoughts collide and I get stuck for a minute. Um, you will probably see me as a user on the app if you are looking for something to do and you enjoy poetry. Allison Potts Innate Being is a beautiful soul who I met through this app and is now probably one of my very closest friends. She's doing a live tonight at 8 p.m. and she's going to be reading poetry. And then two beautiful souls, John Steen tomorrow at 1 o'clock Eastern Standard Time is doing a 45-minute sit-in healing Reiki session, and then Eliyahu is doing a live tomorrow night with Reiki and a Q&A. And I think they moved that to 7 p.m. Sunday night, Eastern Standard Time. So I definitely will be at Allison's tonight. I definitely will be with Eliyahu's, but I'm hoping I can make John's work. We'll just see. So I might see you around on the other side. So, all right, everybody. I will talk to you all soon. Let me go feed this cat so she stops being a diva. She literally just threw herself down on the ground because clearly she's starved to death. All right, everybody. Hope to see you soon. Bye.